Welcome back to the State and Local Sports Show here with Mark Tennis, a co-founder and editor of CalHighSports.com. We are in the midst of basketball season. Even league play started last night for several area leagues. As I mentioned briefly earlier this week, it's just a powerful triumvirate for girls basketball, especially here in Stockton and kind of throughout the area. I mean, St. Mary's, Lincoln, and Brookside are combined 31-7. Lincoln got off to a really hot start this year. I think they started 8-0. How do you like their chances of maybe reaching those section semifinals, which get you a berth into the state playoffs? And if Lincoln were to get that far, they would play in the Division I bracket, not the Open Division. They wouldn't have to worry about St. Mary's, Archbishop, Mitty, or whoever else might be lying there. I know it's a long way off, but I think for their program, that's kind of it's got to be the goal right now.
I think that's been the goal for Chris Romer since he took over, is not to really go after St. Mary's, but to get into that high level of Division I basketball. And they've been very, very close the last few years. And of the three teams you mentioned, St. Mary's, Lincoln, and Brookside, probably Lincoln is the one that's better than last year. St. Mary's obviously is at another level completely, but Lincoln does seem like they're better than last year. I'm not sure of some of the other teams, how they're doing, if there's anybody who's really, running away with it. A team like Oak Ridge is still probably could be in the Open Division if they go farther. So, the key is for them to get to the semifinals, to get into that Division I bracket in the NorCal and maybe win some games there and go far.
Lincoln can just look 2 years ago. McClatchy from Sacramento, they played St. Mary's in the section finals. They lost by a ton, but they won a state championship because they got to play in Division I and away from the teams that are like college
No
programs.
question, yeah, no question.
St. Mary's, like you mentioned, is more human this year, but they've improved kind of steadily. They won the West Coast Jamboree's Platinum Division last week. Najee Murray, their guard, on her way back eventually from an ACL tear. We don't know exactly how soon. Your thoughts on St. Mary's and maybe what their ceiling is in a year when the state might be down a little bit?
The state may be down a little bit, although Clovis West won the Nike TOC top division in Arizona this year, which is a big plus, and a lot of people have them as the number one team in the country. And Clovis West only beat St. Mary's by 5 points in that tournament. And that, again, was without Najee Murray, who is going to be back this season. Salesian, the team they beat in the Jamboree's Platinum Division, includes Sierra Smith, who was at St. Mary's last year, and it looked like everybody got along fine. And it was an impressive win. St. Mary's won by a big margin. And they do look like they're getting better and better. And again, it was just a 5-point game with Clovis West. So St. Mary's might not be as deep as last year, but it just takes a couple of games and they maybe go all the way like they did a couple years ago.
It's postseason accolade time for high school football coverage. What's going on with Cal High Sports right now? What are you guys planning on unveiling soon?
Our next big package is the State Coaches of the Year in football, and we've got a one coach who will be the one State Coach of the Year. Last year it was Mike Janda from San Jose Bellarmine. And then we'll also have a medium schools and a small schools, and we're just about ready to release it. Might even be within a day or so.
Now, Mark Tennis is a weekly column for us at The Record and RecordNet.com. One we got coming on the way soon is about a pretty impressive winning streak from Stagg, and not a program you think of as much these days. Could you kind of tell us, give us a little bit tease what you're talking about?
Well, the reason I'm writing about Stagg's legendary winning streak in boys basketball, it was 53 in a row, and they did it in 1972 and 1973. We're back-to-back undefeated section champions. And that's a pretty amazing accomplishment. And I wanted to get into some of the minutia of the winning streak because it's going to get passed, I believe, in the next 2 weeks by the current streak going at Chino Hills in Southern California. Chino Hills has won 51 games in a row, and they play some state-ranked opponents next week. They don't have any games this week, but once Chino Hills gets to 53 and then 54, they'll knock Stagg down the state list one peg. But still, when a team does that, it's fun to look back at the teams that had the streaks before. And Stagg's was pretty amazing in that they won the very first Sac Joaquin section titles in 1972, 73. They beat a team with Elk Grove that had Bill Cartwright on it as a sophomore. So they really they were well coached, and they didn't have any superstars, but they had a lot of very good players and a very well coached team.
I mentioned league basketball beginning. The Modesto Metro Conference started last night, and Modesto Christian beat Johansson 77-4. I didn't say that incorrectly. That was the right score. The Sac Joaquin section's first realignment proposal mentions Modesto Christian maybe going to the TCAL with West Tracy, Lodi Tokay, St. Mary's, and Lincoln. The Modesto Christian Athletic Director, Greg Pierce, said they want to go to the VOL. His argument was that the TCAL is not competitive enough, that the VOL is deeper. I mean, you saw last year they had 2 section champs and 1 state champion. Wasn't even included in that. What do you think works best? I see the merits of both. The travel from Modesto Christian, the VOL makes sense, and Central is there. I do like the TCAL inclusion because it could bring together a new kind of rivalry in St. Mary's, Modesto Christian boys, and I think Lincoln, Modesto Christian girls with St. Mary's out of the picture now could be kind of a great duel for the league each year.
Yeah, that's true. I just think traditionally you look at how the teams in all sports have sort of evolved over the years with the Valley Oak League, with Central Catholic going into the Valley Oak League now in football and also in basketball. I think it's more of a evolutionary step. Makes more sense for Modesto Christian to be in the Valley Oak League for those reasons, but either one has its merits. The travel is definitely better in the VOL for Modesto Christian. It's hard to know. Modesto Christian's going through another coaching change. Interesting to see if they, how their program, evolves. Whether they keep trying to get bigger and better and stronger, or just sort of stay kind of where they are. So a lot of it depends on the aspirations for Modesto Christian's basketball team. Do they want to be a superpower, or are they just going to kind of try to be very, very good like they are? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
This year, the St. Mary's football running back Dusty Frampton had the second-best single-season performance in our area. He had 2,345 yards. Number 1 was Justin Davis at Lincoln. He did it when he was a junior. He had 2,380 yards. He's currently a senior at USC, and what a way to go out. I was here at work and kind of caught some bits and pieces of the Rose Bowl, but, USC won on a last-minute field goal, 52-49. I mean, that was one of the better bowl games I think I've ever seen. Kind of a cool way to go out for Justin.
That was an awesome game, and it was great that Justin was able to be part of it. He had some key runs for the Trojans in that game. He also got hurt toward the end. I don't remember if he came back in or how bad his injury is. Hopefully it's going to be fine. Of course, the story of the game was Sam Darnold for USC, who we all got to kind of see in Southern California on the statewide scene right at the end of his summer before his senior year, where people would watch him play and start saying things like, this guy, Sam Darnold, he's better than this guy, he's better than that guy. And he wasn't like the super 5-star quarterback coming into the summer, but by the end of the summer, he was definitely looking as good or better than anybody. And he just kind of continued to get better and stronger. And he's actually, I think, lost a little bit of weight since he was a senior. He was a little bit bigger, and now he's a little bit quicker with his feet. He just gets better and better and better, and it's just a great story. And he's from San Clemente High School, which won a state title this year, with Jack Sears, who's also going to USC to be a quarterback. So it's a great story, and a nice kid and nice family, and hopefully it just keeps blowing up for him. And obviously he's looking like a Heisman Trophy candidate for next year.
CalHighSports.com, the Gold Club membership, it's always a good time. One of the best times of years to have it. You got all the insider content, all the all-state teams. You get record books that's less than $20 a year, less than $2 a month. And thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Thomas. Thank you.